Okay, what's up guys? This is Semi here from Phantom Knight Trading Company, and today we're taking a look at the Blastoise deck from Gen 1. Blastoise was one of the strongest evolution decks you could build back in the day because the ability of Blastoise is just completely broken. His ability, called Rain Dance, basically lets you attach as many water energy from your hand to any of your water Pokemon as often as you like per turn, and the power can't be used if Blastoise is asleep, confused, or paralyzed. So this will be our way to get around heavy energy cost. It makes us immune to a certain extent to things like energy removal, super energy removal, things like that. And with as many energy as we want to be able to play, and using 3 to 4 energy cost attacks, we can potentially do some serious damage. We have some pretty serious damage output. We can one-shot things, we can paralyze things while doing heavy damage. So yeah, let's get into the deck to see how that works. So we're going to skip Blastoise for now and go into some of our basics. So Articuno is going to be the primary basic of the deck. Previously, like, Articuno was released here in Fossil, and before Fossil came out, the Blastoise deck was super weak to weakness because everything else is weak to electric, and so Blastoise would be KO'd by Electabuzz and things like that. So it was pretty bad until Articuno was printed because he has no weakness. So Articuno has a resistance to fighting, which is the key resistance to have, but he also has no weakness. So he's going to be alive for likely 2 turns at any given moment, and he's got 70 HP, gold standard. He's got 2 great attacks as well. So freeze dry, flip a coin if as the defending Pokemon is not paralyzed for 3 water, you do 30. So Electabuzz, his first attack is a paralysis on a coin flip, but he does 10 for 1. This is 30. So you're potentially paralyzing the opponent while you're doing 30 damage, and that's huge. That, could potentially KO something that you shouldn't have otherwise KO'd because of the high damage output, as well as half their turns being lost to paralysis. So that's a pretty powerful attack. Blizzard is also powerful. For 4 energy, do 50 damage. Not many attacks can say that they can do 50 damage. But flip a coin if its attack does 10 damage to each of your opponent's benched Pokemon, and if Tails' attack does 10 damage to each of your own benched. So the coin flip can hurt you or help you. Certain things like, you're just basically racking on damage to their opponent's bench if you flip heads. You hit damage on yourself if you flip tails. So it's a double-edged sword, but the damage output is so strong. Like 50 plus 30 equals 80. And so really you're going to be able to 2-shot everything. Potentially, one-shot the low energy, the low HP basics. You're not going to be able to one-shot like the 70 HP standards because you'd need 2 plus power for that, and we don't run that many plus powers. But 50 is still great. 30 with paralysis is great. So you can always paralyze them and then set up a KO with the 50. So it's super powerful card for sure. 2 retreats also good. Along with Articuno, we're going to be running 2 Kangaskhan. Now, not every Blastoise deck runs Kangaskhan. The reason why we have it here is because the Blastoise deck really has to set up. That's bottom line. If you don't set up, you lose, because the whole point of the deck is to accelerate energy by getting Blastoise in play. So if they last you, if they rocket sneak attack you, if they imposter oak you, if they rockets trap you, if they do anything that disrupts your hand and prevents you from setting up, you almost lose at that point because your momentum is completely zero. You almost can't even attack, and they're powering up all their attackers. So that's why Kangaskhan is here. He has the attack for 1 energy that's called Fetch. You just draw a card. So you have two chances to draw out of your dead hand at any given turn. He's got 90 HP. That's a ton of HP. He's not going to be 1-shot, likely 2-shot. So he'll buy you 2 cards and buy you 2 turns. So with Kangaskhan, you potentially gain 4 turns to get out of the dead hand. Even actually 5 cards if you think about Kangaskhan getting KO'd at that point. So you have a good chance to be able to draw out your dead hand and set up. So that's why he's here. It's to mitigate the weakness of the deck to hand disruption, essentially. It's also got Comet Punch, but you're almost never going to do Comet Punch because Blastoise cannot accelerate water into non-waters, so this is a colorless type, and so therefore he can't be accelerated with Blastoise. So he's really here just for fetch. Now, 3 retreat cost means that, you know, he becomes a liability, but we do have high counts of switch, so hopefully it doesn't become too bad, and I think the gain is worth more than the downside. So Kangaskhan's here as a 2 count, hoping that we can get him on the bench early in case, like on turn 1 or something, if we have a dead hand, and he can just potentially even draw us into our setup. Like if we don't have a setup on our hand automatically, attach energy to Kangaskhan, hopefully we draw into something. So super useful. Going into the Blastoise lines, we run 4 Squirtle. We are playing the Squirtle from the Team Rocket set, not the Squirtle from base set, because he has 50 HP. That's really the main reason. 40 HP is really bad on a basic that's trying to evolve, because a couple of plus powers will take you out. You know, he's weak to electric, so Electabuzz will easily knock you out. So 40 HP is a liability. 50 HP is worth more, especially in a deck that we're trying to set up with. So definitely Rocket Squirtle. Squirtle from Team Rocket is the one to go with. We have a split count here of 3 Blastoise. We already talked about his power. Let's talk about the rest of the card. He's got 3 retreat, huge, bulky guy, no resistance, so that's unfortunate, but he has 100 HP. He's not going to get knocked out very easily. 2 shots, maybe 3-4 shots even up. Like, it takes a while to knock this guy out. Weakness is lightning, obviously, but he's got a great attack. Hydro Pump does 40 damage, plus 10 more damage for each water energy attached to Blastoise, but not used to pay for the attack's energy cost. So, and an extra water energy after 2 don't count. So essentially what that means is, you put 3 energy on him, he does 40. You put 4 energy on him, he does 50. And if you get 5 energy on him, he does 60, and it maxes out at 60. So for 5 energy, you can do 60 damage. 1 plus power gets you into 1 hit KO range on your gold standard of 70 HP. So very powerful attack, and definitely useful. Now, most decks in the past that ran Blastoise made him the primary attacker because he can one-shot people. However, we're going with a heavy count of Articuno. We're playing 3 Articunos, so that we're going to be utilizing Freeze, Dry, and Blizzard. This does a couple of things. You know, if you only had 1 Blastoise in play and you were using him as an attacker, once he went down, if you didn't have another one in play, you were going to be in trouble. And also he needs 5 energy to do a 1-shot. Sometimes you don't have 5. Articuno only needs 4 and 3 to attack with, so half the energy cost to start attacking and stall with paralysis versus the max count here. Now 3 energy you can attack with at 40 as well, but there's no other effect outside of just doing 40 damage. So it increases the chance that Blastoise takes enough damage to get KO'd, and so he's the primary strategy of the deck. Without him, acceleration is impossible. So you almost don't want to attack with him because you want to conserve him on the bench so that you can just start accelerating as often as you want to. So that's why we're going heavy counts on Articuno, 3 Blastoise just to get him in play. Obviously he can't be useful as an attacker, and if that's your only option, you're going to be using it. However, he's meant to be on the bench so that you can accelerate onto Articuno. We also run a single copy of Dark Blastoise. So what does Dark Blastoise do? 70 HP gold standard, 2 retreat costs, of 1 less than the other Blastoise. He's got 2 attacks. Both of them are useful. Hydro Cannon does 30 plus 20 more damage for each water energy attached to Dark Blastoise, but not used to pay for the attack. You can't add more than 40 damage this way. So essentially, 2 energy for 30, 4 energy for 50. I'm sorry, 3 energy for 50, and 4 energy for 70. So he's the only card in the whole deck that, on its own, without any plus powers, can do 70 damage. And that is a powerful amount of damage to be doing on your own with no extra support. Hydro Cannon is an incredible attack. He also has this Rocket's Tackle attack. Dark Blastoise is 10 damage to itself. Flip a coin if heads. Prevent all damage done to Dark Blastoise during your opponent's next turn. Any other effects still happen. So for 40 for 3 energy, which is already good, he can potentially not get KO'd next turn because he doesn't take damage next turn. So Rocket's Tackle is useful, not as useful as Hydro Cannon, But if you're just backed into a corner, you needed 2 turns, you needed more than 70 damage, and you don't have any plus powers. 40 and 40 does 80. So if you're trying to hit a 40, like a Wigglytuff or something, Rocket's Tackle might be your way out. It might be your only out at that point. So, but very strong card. It's unfortunate that we always make priority on the ability Blastoise, because without him the deck falls apart. It's and so often what happens is I'm gonna try to go for 2 of these Blastoises, the ability ones, and just skip Dark Blastoise. But in the couple of matches here or there where I can get a Dark Blastoise out, he can hit for 70, really do some serious damage. So he's there as a 1 count. Might as well have it and have it as an option. So those are all the Pokemon. We have 17 energy, and 17 energy is actually pretty low for a Blastoise deck, but I just needed the space for everything else. And oftentimes, when you start going into a really high count of energy, you're just gonna have hands of just dead hands, just full of energy. So I think 17 is okay. We have plenty of nightly garbage runs to recover energy, so I think we're okay with 17. For computer search, once again, setting up is going to be the critical part of the deck, and so you need as many outs as you can. Oftentimes, also, if they start sneak attacking you with Rocket Sneak Attack, if you can top deck a computer search, you can get yourself out of the dead hand. So, being so weak to hand disruption and being a deck that absolutely has to set up to function for computer search is a must. 3-item finder, super useful card. Unfortunately, getting set up is more important than late game, even though we do go into a late game a lot, and it would be nice to have 4. 3 is all I can spare. 3 breeder and 3 trader. This is going to be our consistency engine. As long as you have a single Pokemon in hand and a trader, you can swap into whatever you want. 3 breeder is essentially 3 rare candy. Gives you a lot of outs to get into Blastoise. The other thing I forgot to mention is that we do run a single Wartortle. So we have an out to get a Blastoise without rare candy / breeder with a single Wartortle. So useful to have. I've actually utilized Wartortle plenty of matches to be able to get Blastoise out, especially mid and late game when your breeder counts are running low. Very useful to have one. I would definitely not. And also, it's only out against Dark Vileplume if they lock you. If you can't use Breeder, Wartortle is literally your only out against that deck. So absolutely, you need one. 3 Breeder, 3 Trader, like I said, consistency engine. Moving on, we have 2 plus power. Once again, Blastoise, the main one, does 60 max. Nothing else in the deck except for Dark Blastoise gets 70. So plus powers will help the ability Blastoise to be able to hit 1-hit KO range at the 70 HP level. So 2 is good. 2 is about as much space as I can spare. 3 Oak. So unfortunately, we don't have enough space for 4 Oak. 4 Oak, I think in this deck is actually almost essential. And if I had to rebuild this deck, I would find a way to put 4 Oak in here, because we're just so weak to Rocket's Sneak Attack and Rocket's Trap that we need as many outs as we can to be able to draw out of our dead hand. And there's been too many hands where I just don't have an Oak and my hand is dead, and so I just lose, or I lose too much momentum and it takes too long for me to get out of my dead hand. So if I had to rebuild the deck, I'd find a way to put in another Oak, but as it stands, 4 computer search and 3 Oak are kind of okay. 4 Bill, draw is essential, getting out of dead hands is essential, getting set up is essential, and Bill helps to do all those things. So 4 Bill is essential. I think that I might actually swap out 1 Oak, make Oak count a 4, Bill a 3. However, the only reason why I've gone with 4 Bill at the moment is because if you had to Oak too many resources away early on, and you can't get them back, you've almost lost at that point, because a lot of matches go to distance with Blastoise, since we don't run energy removal, we don't run donks or anything like that. We don't run any sort of disruption against the opponent. So they can often stall you. They can gust your Blastoise out from the bench and stall you that way. So there's a lot of weaknesses in the deck, but you don't want to lose too many resources, and so that's why we've gone 3 Oak and 4 Bill. Anyway, 4 Bill, really useful. 1 Gust of Wind to disrupt the opponent. Obviously more would be great, but we do have run 3 item finders, so we can get them back if we need to. Computer searches will find it if we need it. So Gust of Wind is just a 1 count. It's like a tech at this point, because you're hitting for so much damage that you're just smacking everything in the active anyway. But it's nice to have a Gust of Wind in case they're trying to stall you or something like that. So always have one as an option. 3 switch, heavy count of switch, because one of the biggest weaknesses is our retreat cost. We have 3 here. Kangaskhan has 3, Articuno has 2, and Dark Blastoise has 2. So retreat cost is definitely a big weakness. What often happens is they will Gust of Wind one of your Blastoises that have no energy on it into the active spot, and if you don't have any sort of way to draw into more cards in your hand or enough energy in your hand, then you just kind of get trapped in the active, and then they start taking KOs, and they buy turns to be able to get set up. So heavy count of switch is useful. 3 Nightly Garbage Run, one of the most important cards in the deck here. Because your energy costs are so expensive, and your HPs are 70, right? So likely they'll 2 hit to 3 hit KO you anyway, despite the amount of pressure you're putting on them, because we only run 1 Gust of Wind. So they're often going to be able to power up their attackers on the bench and then just hit you once they become active. The theory is that you're hopefully have taken enough prizes by that point to get a good lead. However, your main Articunos can die. They can get KO'd, and so once they get KO'd, they take all their energy with them. That's 3 to 4 energy every time you lose a KO. If the opponent takes 6 prizes, think of how many energy you've lost at that point. So Nightly Garbage Run is super useful. Early on, it helps you conserve attackers and energy. Late game, it just helps you conserve energy and prevent deck outs. So absolutely incredible. Like, playing 3 Nightly Garbage Run per match is not unheard of. It's actually very common. One of the most important cards in the deck, for sure, is Nightly Garbage Run. So that's the whole deck in terms of overall matchups. We are pretty weak to Rocket's Zapdos, because they can just Gust of Wind your Blastoise, and they start hitting you for 40 with the Plasma. If they get the one-shot attack powered up, your Blastoise gets KO'd in 1 turn. So, and then they run heavy super energy removals. That's the other thing. If you have a heavy kind of super energy removal and hand disruption like the Rocket's Zapdos does, then you get a pretty tough match. It's in general a negative matchup because of the weakness to Lightning. Articuno really helps to pull its weight in that matchup, because what often happens is you're going to be hitting them for enough damage for them to KO themselves with their second attack. So it makes them double guess what they want to do. Makes them really try to not chase the Blastoise all that much, because otherwise my primary attacker being Articuno is still powered up and no damage or whatever, and you've just killed your Zapdos to be able to take my Blastoise out, and I still have my energy on the board. So really forces them to second guess what their plans are. So very good. Like I said, the biggest weakness of the deck is not getting set up, and so hand disruption is a huge weakness of the deck. Last would destroy you. Kangaskhan helps mitigate that, but it's still pretty bad. Last will hurt you pretty bad. Rocket Sneak Attack, Rocket's Trap, Imposture Oak, all those things will hurt you pretty bad. So you're just gonna have to get lucky in those matches. To be fair, most other decks also are weak to those cards. Like, no deck is not weak to those cards. So you're gonna have to get lucky in any deck, really, against a deck that's designed to abuse those cards. So yeah, those are not that great. Now, Dark Vileplume is another big problem, because once you get cut off from your trainers, if you hadn't gotten a Blastoise in play already, or even if you had 1 Blastoise in play, once you lose the ability to get more Blastoise, that 1 Blastoise has to take you to the distance. And so if they find a way to KO it, or Lysander stalled or something, I don't know, that you're not going to be able to really get another one out. We do have the Wartortle option, but it's a single card, and you can't use Oaks to draw, so you're just going to have to like hope to top deck into it within 4 or 5 turns, because at that point, by then they should be able to have enough turns to be able to KO you. So that's another weakness. But in any against any general deck, like if you get set up within turn 2, because that's the ideal setup, right? If you can get ability Blastoise out in turn 2, that's perfect. But if you can get set up within 2 turns, maximum 3 turns, you have a really good chance to just blow through the opponent, because your damage output's really high. Like in a format where 20 and 30 damage is considered to be good, you're hitting 30 base and 50, potentially 60, and then 70. Like your damage outputs start at 30. So definitely a high damage output deck. One of the other weaknesses I forgot to mention is going to be Mr. Mime. Let me pull him up here so that you can see what I'm talking about. This is a huge weakness of the deck because once again, our damage output starts at 30. The only Pokemon that we run that hits for less than 30 is the base Squirtle. So when I say base Squirtle, I mean the basic Squirtle. We're not running any actual base set Squirtles. But he can do Shell Attack for 20. So that is really your only option against Mr. Mime. And so Mr. Mime, if you don't know what he does, got his invisible wall power. It says whenever an attack does 30 or more, it does 0. And the power can't be used if Mime is deceived, confused, or paralyzed. So Mime literally walls everything in your deck except for the Squirtle. So he can destroy you, essentially, if you can't get something set up. Like the other downside is like when you get Squirtle in the active and you hit Mr. Mime for 20, all they have to do is retreat Mr. Mime, send up another Pokemon, and KO your Squirtle, and then you still have to deal with Mr. Mime in the future. If they potion Mr. Mime at any given point, you have to do all that work over again. If they scoop up Mr. Mime at any given point, you do all that work over again. So they can, if they have this one card and they play right, they will beat you. And that's just one of the weaknesses that you have to accept with the deck, is that it's just super weak to Mr. Mime. The potential tech you can do that people have done in the past to get around Mr. Mime is to put a Lapras in the deck, a single one, because both of his attacks do 10, low energy cost, but Confuse Ray, flip a coin if it has defend Pokemon is not confused. Confuse is really powerful in this format because they can't retreat without having to flip the coin, and then they flip the coin only after they pay the retreat cost. So definitely powerful. Water Gun is 10 plus 10 more damage, and you can't add more than 20 damage this way. So for 3 energy, you do 30 essentially. So for 3 for 30 is fine. Confuse Ray helps you get to keep the Mime in check. So that's a potential tech if you want to do it. Like you can get rid of a Kangaskhan or something, put in a Lapras, maybe even get rid of one Articuno, put in a Lapras. I don't know where you're gonna find the spot for it, but he's a really good option to be able to keep Mr. Mime in check. So that's something to think about. Confusion's also really powerful, like I said. So he's a pretty decent Pokemon, but I just don't like him because the damage output's low. We're keeping up with the heavy damage, so it is what it is. But yeah, that's the deck. It's one of the most powerful decks in the format. Regardless of all the weaknesses that I just explained, those are all somewhat situational. We have answers to a lot of them. Kangaskhan, high counts to computer search, Oak, plenty of options. So go ahead and try it out. We're gonna have a couple of matches here. So we have a couple of cool matches since this deck usually creates good matches because we don't run donks, we don't run disruption or anything like that. So pretty decent matches. You're gonna see how the deck works against certain weaknesses that it has, because the matches all had certain weaknesses that we have to deal with. So go ahead and take a look at it. See if you like the deck. See if you want to build it. It's pretty expensive. Blastoise, 1,000 bits each. Dark Blastoise is like I'm just purely guessing, maybe like 40 or something like that. Articunos are pretty expensive, around 400 or 500 bits. So it's not a cheap deck for sure. Breeders and traders are also expensive. So, but these are like the trainers are usually staples, so you just want to get these anyway to get to maximize your ability to build decks anyway. But the the Pokemon are definitely expensive, so it's not something that you want to like. If you want to make it your primary deck, go for it and try it out. And so you'll see how it works in the matches. So let's get going here. Let's get into a match. Okay, looks like we got a match here against Kurt, and gonna start off with Squirtle. Okay, let's see if we go first. Looks like I didn't have any Pokemon, so he gets an extra card. And yeah, we're gonna see how this goes. Okay, so this is going to be Venutrans, where he's able to move around grass energy. See what his attackers are. I mean, he would need lightning attackers to really do damage to me in a high fashion. We have high damage output, so that's good. The question is he going to be able to continuously shuffle our bench? Like, is he going to be able to Lysander Blastoises out? Things like that. Playing the Voltorb, and Voltorb usually means, oh yeah, sure, I'll take 3. Voltorb means that he is going to sacrifice his Electrode. Hope he's not setting me up for an Imposter Oak right now. But he can like sacrifice his Electrode and take 2 energy onto someone instantly. So usually the Venutrans deck wants to do the 2 energy thing onto a Kangaskhan or Chansey since their HPs are so high. He did play Imposter Oak. Wow. Okay. Well, if we had to be impostered, I'm glad it was at the very beginning. We'll bench these guys. We will simply attach the water energy to the Articuno. And I think we're just going to pass since we can't evolve this turn anyway. He would need 2 sneak attacks to get rid of the computer search and the oak. So we should have a hand next turn at the very least. So that's good. Now he evolves, obviously. He was going to get that because he played all those Ericas. He plays the Rainbow and he discards himself to give me a prize. I get my Dark Blastoise out. That's pretty bad, but actually now I can at least breed her into a Blastoise and then Oak, so that's good. If he doesn't mess with my hand this turn. So he's gotten the KO, so that's fine. We'll send up the Articuno. He's got 70 HP, so that's nice. We can go ahead and take this out for the breeder. There's the breeder. We'll now breed her into the Blastoise. We have Blastoise now. We need energy, and we have plenty of energy. We'll play the Bills. Why not? We'll bench the Squirtle, and we're just going to Rain Dance into Articuno. Put a huge amount of pressure. Now the question is, do we want to Blizzard, which will do 10 to our bench? Let me just go ahead and blow him up. Blizzard, flip a coin if it has attack, does 10 damage to each of your opponent's Pokemon, or if Tails does 10 to each of your own benched. And we have Freeze Dry, which can paralyze him. So naturally, 2 Blizzards would KO him. But yeah, I think it might actually be worth it in this case. So 50, 60, 70, 80. We would need a plus power to get to 100 since he already has 10 damage because of the Rainbow. But we're just going to Blizzard. We got lucky to do 10 on his bench, so that's nice. Now he's in a threat of being KO'd. So he's going to have to move all the energy, heal himself, and then attack. Looks like he already has that option available, but the Ivysaur got damaged by 10, so if he does the Poke Center, he loses all of his energy from there too. So we are actually in really great position because we were able to get that heads. If we didn't get the heads, then his Ivysaur would not have, his Ivysaur would have 0 damage, and so he could have moved the energy, played Poke Center. Ivysaur would not have had any damage to heal, so he doesn't lose the energy, and then Venusaur would have healed himself. So it challenges me. Will certainly decline that. Do not want him to get a full bench since his deck can be really troublesome if it gets set up. But now he will be able to move the energy and he will be able to Poke Center now that he has a fresh Bulbasaur on the bench. So yeah, luckily if we can get a heads on a Blizzard again, we'll put more pressure on him. So that would be really good. So he heals himself. Now he's going to, if he has a plus power, that could be bad. Hopefully he doesn't because our hand is actually technically dead. He plays that. He plays, gives me 60. There's an Articuno. We will bench him for sure. We will evolve into Wartortle to keep our HP high. Um, the question here is, do I Blizzard and take the heads and hopefully ruin his Poke Center strategy? Or do I Freeze Dry, use the heads to potentially paralyze him, and then he can't move the energy? That might actually be the better option, but he has a defender, right? So that means he only takes 10 damage. I think then in that case, Blizzard might be better. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and if we get Tails though, like if we get Tails either way, we're kind of screwed. So Blizzard actually puts more damage on him, but Blizzard, if it's Tails, actually makes Articuno a one shot. So we're gonna have to freeze try. We got Paralysis though, so that's nice. Now we can't move the energy. So the decision making there was if I'd gotten Tails on that, my Articuno on the bench would have taken 10 damage, and that would have significantly caused problems for me because then his Solar Beam one shots me. So now here, what I can do is I can freeze dry again, potentially put more damage on him. So now he can just move him off and heal. If he wants to risk his Venusaur and not heal the 40 damage off, we'll take a. I think we can take if we can draw an energy or something. Might be able to do some. Okay, so he's gonna do it anyway, so that's good. At least we forced him to use one. This is a battle of resources than it is more than anything else. I need him to use his resources as often as I gotta force it on him. So we can nightly garbage run now. We'll bench him. We will rain dance the active. The question here is, do I nightly garbage run first? Because I need resources, and I don't want to draw into energy or Pokemon at the moment. I need to draw into some of my trainers. So I might actually hold off on the garbage run for now. Especially if we not top deck a computer search, then it could be useful. Please give me some paralysis. I really need this. Okay, good. So that's really great. So potentially 2 Pluspowers I think can do this now. So hopefully he plays another challenge. We will not accept the challenge. He draws 2 cards that way, so the challenge essentially becomes a bill at that point for him. So yeah, it's fine. Our bench looks fine for now. Have the Blastoise. There's the Gust of Wind. So we need to top deck something here now. Otherwise, our Blastoise is going to be in trouble. We have a Wartortle already evolved and ready to go, so we just need to top deck another Blastoise at that point. Did I already discard one? No, I did not. I discarded the other one, so should be fine. Now we top deck water energy. So fortunately we might just have to we're gonna have to end our turn. This is the weakness of Blastoise. That's why we run such a high count of switch, but in situations like this, when we're dead drawing, unfortunately it doesn't help us. He's gonna get plenty of Venusaurs in play. Once again, this is entirely a battle of resources more than anything. He has burned through, let's see, 1 energy retrieval, couple of bills, 1 center, 2 centers, and a defender. So luckily he's gotten rid of 2 centers. There's the item finder. So what I can do is item finder for the oak. Alright. We can get rid of these 2 for the oak. We can nightly garbage run. We just need energy back. We might actually need 1 Pokemon back because he's going to be the primary attacker. So what about Dark Blastoise though? Blastoise can do 70 potentially for 5 energy though. You know what? No, we need to stick with the plan. Stick with the plan. We will then Oak. Now we switch into Articuno. Yep. We bill. Okay. So I need to hit the 70. I need to hit 70 damage, right? Now, plus power gives me, but plus power stays attached, and so have we played a plus power yet? We have not. Okay, so he has 2 cards in his hand though, so we are forcing him to potentially. I think this is worth it if we blizzard him. We get tails though, so we got 10 damage. That's really, really bad. But he is in KO range now. There's another Venusaur. He's got 2 cards in his hand though, so I'm hoping that he's actually dead drawed instead of having. No, never mind. He had an oak. So he was just sitting on an oak. um, so he's gonna move his energy onto Ivysaur and then heal off everything. Is my guess. He would definitely not want to lose all those energies for sure. So does he have it? He only needs is an item finder or another center. I'm sure he runs 4 center. There's no way he doesn't. And I'm sure he's got to run at least 3 item finder. So I mean, he should have the resources. I can't imagine him not having the resources. Did he have the? He did not. Unbelievable. He missed it. Wow. Okay, well, I'll take that, man. I will take that. Yeah, we'll freeze dry and we'll draw. And we're still tied on prizes, so this is a pretty intense matchup right now. I'm surprised that he didn't have it. He actually has 12 cards in his deck, so he must have really dug through a lot. Maybe he doesn't run full counts. I don't know. But there's the energies. So okay, here is. We're gonna continue this way. Okay, so we have a fully powered up Articuno. Unfortunately, we are committing a huge amount of energy here, but we do have the garbage run, so we will garbage run just energies at this point. Yeah, that seems fine. Okay, keep our energy count high. We're gonna need those for sure for future attacks. Do I paralyze him and risk? I think I do paralyze him. If I can, because if I get ahead on the paralysis, he can't move the energy, right? And then a plus power should do it. So 30, 40, yeah, then a plus power does it. So freeze dry, give me a heads, please. No. Oh, we needed that heads, man. We needed that heads because now he takes a KO and he gets down to 2 prizes. Wow. If that had been heads, he wouldn't have been able to move the energy. We could have KO'd all of his energy on the field right then and there. Maybe his hand is dead. It is dead. Okay. Okay. This is the make or break moment right here. If I promote the Blastoise, I can do 60 damage, and that means I have to go for it, right? Um. So I can item finder these 2 for an oak, but then I have to lose. Okay, so I can't use both item finders. And if I can't use both item finders, then I'm just going to plus power the active and then item finder for the oak. Oh, I almost misclicked there. That would have been bad. So the oak, please give me enough energy. Okay, we have another oak though, so that's fine. So we rain dance. We rain dance. What I guess what I'm gonna have to do is just plus power. We can computer search these 2 for the Blastoise evolve, and then oak again. So 40. I'm already doing 60, and that's all we need. So we just need to attach 1 more energy. We can trade the Squirtle for the Articuno that's left. And I guess I should have taken that chance to look at my deck, but I didn't. Which is bad. Now, yes, acknowledge it. I bench him. I guess I'm gonna have to save that maybe. I have another one, so I'm fine. And then I Hydro Pump. Yep. Okay. So we got rid of like a whole bunch of his energy. Can you do 30 damage though? Is the question. Can you do 30 damage with potentially 2 energy? He's if he promotes, I guess he wants that electrode. Now, how many item finders have we used? We've used 1, 2, 3 item finder. That should be all of them. Let me scroll, please. 1, 2 garbage runs. I think we played 3, right? Why is this not scrolling right? Okay. He found a way to discard me. So yeah. Okay. What happened there? Oh, he did lightning. He moved Rainbow Energy from Ivysaur to Voltorb, put Volt to Speedball. Lightning is 40. Wow. What a troll, dude. What a troll. Okay, I'm gonna have to, like, computer search these two for what's left in my deck right now. Just a bunch of waters. Wow. I guess I'm just gonna have to get the energy out. And, Rain Dance, Rain Dance, Rain Dance. Can't. Oh, wow. Our prizes actually must be really bad. Please paralyze. No, of course not. Why would you want to paralyze me? You know, he's got 7 cards in his hand to R1, and he plays Recycle Tails. That's good. At least that's good. Energy Trans. I guess he's gonna save the Rainbow. Do something on the bench. He's obviously looking for the Gust of Wind at this point. Now I can't remember. I don't think I have enough energy to switch out the Blastoise. So if he gets a Gust of Wind, I'm screwed. I think I've probably lost this at this point. I'm too far behind on prizes, and that one, the whole match I think came down to that one flip. If I had gotten heads on that flip, he would not have been able to move the energy. We would have been able to take the KO. He wouldn't have been able to respond KO us, and that would have made all the difference. So yeah, no, what is this, man? Wow, he defenders me. He defenders himself, man. All right, if I blizzard him, does 30 damage. A freeze dry does 10 damage and potentially paralysis, puts him in paralysis. So I think I'm gonna have to freeze dry. Now we get heads on the paralysis, so at least he can't move out of the active. So he's gonna be forced to go down this turn, is what that means, unless he has another defender. Even then, I think I can take the KO because of Blizzard. So I can take a KO on this turn at the very least. I don't take any damage myself at the very least, so that's also good. Freeze dry again to take the KO. We get a switch, so that's good. You can't strand Blastoise in the active. So yeah, our prizes are just really good, and we just got screwed. Here is the make or break moment right here. I will have to attach the energy and just go for Blizzard. There's 50. Now we need one more. Hopefully he doesn't have a way to heal. Please do not have a way to heal. Please do not have a way to heal. Oh no, he has a Mr. Mime, dude. No. He has a Mr. Mime. The Mr. Mime is the biggest weakness of this deck. Nothing we do hits for less than 20 like except for our Squirtle, which can do 20, but wow. Unbelievable. He had a Mr. Mime at the very end of the match. That is just wow. I mean, I guess I freeze dry. Does this still paralyze him? Yeah, it does. Wow, dude. I can't believe he had a Mr. Mime. I bet you one of our garbage runs is also prized. And so bad, dude. I guarantee one of our garbage runs is prized. I can't remember anymore. How many do I run? How many has it been? So 1, 2. Yeah, dude. 2 garbage runs. I'm pretty sure. I'm almost positive I run 3. I'm gonna check that right after this match. Wow. But that's the match. Let me go ahead and check that real quick. Let me go to my deck. And I go to, where's Blastoise? There's Blastoise. How many do I run? 3, I knew it. That one garbage run, man. We had a switch and a garbage run prized. Alright, well that was a match. It's a pretty decent match. But yeah, we'll go into the next one. Okay, looks like we got a match here against two-way speaker. Gonna be starting out with Articuno. Okay, hopefully we get a Squirtle off this bill. That would be amazing. 2 garbage runs starting out is actually incredibly bad because garbage run is the way that we sustain our decks, like momentum. So we're gonna bill. Okay, looks like he's actually running fire, so he might be okay. I might have to just like play. Wow, actually, this is really bad, dude. This is really bad because I don't want to have to computer search for the oak. Like, what to do? What to do? Like, I can't lose a turn. I think so. Do I dare go for it? I can't do that, dude. I just can't. So I gotta go through this for the Hoke, and then I garbage run. The water's back in. We'll bench the other guy too, and then we're just gonna Oak. And we still didn't get it. Well, we have a trader now, so that's fine. Trader into the Squirtle. And bench the Squirtle. And attach the energy to the active, and then end our turn. Next turn we can Breeder and Item Finder for the Oak again. So hopefully he doesn't disrupt my hand, first of all, hopefully. Second of all, hopefully, well, oh wow. He has Rocket's Trap, dude. Oh man. This is just bad. Alright, well, we're gonna have to Item Finder, which means we're gonna have to lose the Blastoise that we had in hand. Yeah, we'll draw it. We have no choice at this point. We might actually now not. That means he has Imposter Oak too, is what that means. Rocket Sneak Attack. Bye bye Item Finder. Goodbye. Yeah, that's what I figured. Okay, but the good news is, we are all my waters, dude. Wait, does that mean that if you sneak attack me and then pick the bottom 3, is that what that means? Like, are you able to see my hand and then therefore pick the right cards? That's an interesting. I gotta test that out in a deck in the future. But he gets rid of my stuff, so he needs a Gust of Wind at this point to really do. So if he gets a Gust of Wind, it ruins my strategy. He can hit my Articuno. He's gonna Gust of Wind, so yeah, I'm screwed. Wow. This is what happens with Blastoise, man, against Wobble decks. Blastoise against Disruption decks, they just ruin your hand, man. He plays Sneak Attack instead. That he should have Gust of Winded there. So, I mean, I guess he just he has one card in his hand too. Is that an Oak? Maybe it's an oak. Yeah, it is an oak. Now he Gust of Winds. What a ridiculous match against this man. Like he has like he's getting everything he needs at this point. He plays 2 computer switches in a row. What is he digging for? Okay. I guess he doesn't run Gust of Wind. I guess okay, so he was trying to just like take out my entire hand or something, but gonna promote this guy. We're gonna evolve, and just gonna end our turn, man. We're dead handing, dead drawing, everything in the book. I'm surprised he had not Gust of Winded. I guess he's now looking for the DCE. Yeah. So he's playing a super speedy version of his deck. Like he has 10 cards left in his deck. So his whole strategy is just disrupting my hand and then just burning through his entire deck. At the very least here, I mean, I do have energies now. So unless he rockets traps me again, I don't know. No, now he plays Imposter Oak's Revenge. Oh, 4 energy. That's oh, okay, wait, dude. We might actually win this now. Please don't ruin my hand again. I want to keep this hand. Oh, he beat himself. Okay. Wow, he beat himself. Unless he evolves, yeah, dude. He's got 4 cards left in his deck. 50 times 2 is 100. So we're gonna have to attach one more to get to 60. And Hydro Pump. Take out his Charizard. Wow, dude. Okay, well, Hydro Pump. Did he just beat himself, dude? Because he can't. Oh, okay. If he gets Charizard here, and if he gets Charizard here in a DCE, but he doesn't. Ah! GG, dude, he beat himself. All right, I can dig that, man. I can dig that, man. All right, so we won that one. Somehow we won that one. He literally burned through his entire deck, and he gave us, with the imposter, he gave us the exact hand we needed, and we top decked the energy that we needed. So we actually won. All right, let's go into the next one. Okay, we're playing some Oliver again. We're starting with a Squirtle. He's playing a Voltorb Arcanine deck. Uses Electro to accelerate energy onto Arcanine. His whole hand is just basics. Okay. Bench him. Switch into Kangaskhan. We'll bill. Bench the Arcanine. Play the water. And then we're just going to draw. Next turn I can computer search into the Blastoise, breeder the Blastoise, and then oak away the hand and potentially start accelerating. Okay, so he goes for the full donk strategy here, where pulled punch will do 40 if there's no damage on my side. I can just trade now Wartortle for the Blastoise. So turn 2 Blastoise is about as good as you can hope for with this deck. Gonna breeder into the Blastoise. We can Rain Dance onto the Articuno. Then we're gonna Oak. We can probably gonna Oak again here. So Rain Dance onto the Articuno. And Trader the Wartortle for a Squirtle. Okay. Get another line set up here, then we're just gonna item finder. Doesn't matter what we do, we're gonna be oaking. We need a switch though, so now we Rain Dance into this. We might have to oak again, dude. No, I think this time we're just going to play these two for the switch. For the Articuno. And we'll Rain Dance to the active. And we're just going to Blizzard. Okay. So we got set up in 2 turns. Had to use a couple of Oaks in the second turn there, but we are fully set up now. Got a Blastoise, got a Squirtle on the bench in case he somehow does KO the Blastoise or something like that. Something like that. Now the downside is we have a dead hand, but he hasn't gotten his primary strategy set up either. He needs the Electrode. He needs the Arcanine. He's got the Arcanine now. His takedown can actually do some serious damage to me, huh? And dead hand is not a good situation to be in. I have the Kangaskhan though, so I can start drawing next turn if I need to. But yeah, his the Arcanine Voltorb deck is actually not that bad. I mean, you know, if you have defenders, you can do some serious damage with takedown. It's there. It's weak to energy removals, obviously. Looks like he's playing. We'll bench the Articuno, and we're just going to Blizzard, I think. Yeah, no, we can just plus power freeze try, and he's still kind of stuck there. Now we have a breeder for a second Blastoise, so we're you know, we don't have attackers set up after this one goes down, but we do have plenty of ways to stall. We're just gonna promote him. We'll breeder into the Blastoise. We can then just fetch. There's the Oak. Okay, so next it was the next card. All of our attackers are high HP, so I'm not too worried about anything here. Next turn we'll just recover some energy. I'm not gonna recover any Pokemon. Maybe I might recover the Articuno. I don't know. I have one in the bench though, so he plays a plus power onto the Arcanine. I guess he's trying to get. I don't know why he would run plus power in his build, because 80 is doing plenty of damage. 50 is another big key HP value. Not many things have 60 though, so I'm not sure why he's running plus powers. But you know, there's no point in comparing builds. His build is his build, so shouldn't be a problem. He's got 90 HP left. If it's just 1 plus power, I think we're okay. Kangaskhan, he's gonna have to move from the active, and in terms of prizes, we're definitely ahead. We have 3 prizes already to his 1, so the deck is setting up. Our deck set up pretty fast and consistent, and his deck kind of stalled a little bit there. He hasn't gotten Electrode onto an Arcanine. That's the thing. He wasted the Electrode onto Jigglypuff. He hits me for 60. I'm just going to take this opportunity to Rain Dance the Articuno and Garbage Run some energies. And then we're going to Oak. There's the item finder, so can potentially do this for the switch. Switch into the Articuno, Rain Dance to the active, bench the other Articuno. Do I dare go for more aggro? Yeah, why not? Rain Dance, the active, and now we can take a KO here. So his best option now is to just Lysander stall, Gust of Wind stall. Let's see. Plays the Oak. He's got the Voltorb down. Next turn he will be able to potentially do a takedown. So this attacker is going to go down. I need to power up another one. But if I start powering up something, I get I'm stuck with Gust of Wind. So I'm actually not going to power up anything, because what that means is I might actually attach 1 energy onto Kangaskhan. That's the only thing I might do, because if he Gust of Winds me, anything Gust of Winds can become an attacker except for Kangaskhan, and I can't accelerate onto Kangaskhan, so I need to be able to pay retreat next turn. So that's the plan. Plays a Pluspower, so he's gonna do 50 damage. Now he plays Gust of Wind. So if he takes the KO on the Kangaskhan, I'm actually happy with that because it takes out a liability from my bench. If he strands any of the Blastoises up, I have enough energy to attack with it. Strands the other Articuno. Okay. So, here's what we'll do. We'll Rain Dance, and one more Rain Dance, and Gust of Wind his Voltorb. And we can Pluspower Freeze Try. It's like he's basically conceding. He knows that acceleration was the main way he was going to be able to do anything. Now he could potentially have a switch as well, so that's the other thing. There he goes, stranding something in the active. But we can switch into Articuno, who has fully powered up just for a Blizzard. And so yeah, we won there. Yeah, so that's what the deck looks like if it can just set up incredibly fast. With Gust of Wind, you Lysander potential complications that can go against you. With Gust of Wind is probably the big weakness, but once you get set up like this, you can see how fast we can really like run through something. So that's the deck. Try it out. Go ahead and see if you like it. Evolution decks do have certain weaknesses inherent to being evolution decks, so can't really get around that. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed these videos, these matches. We had some couple of good ones in this video, in this this series here. So we're just going to end the video here. See you guys next time.